Y'all, just when I thought I found a good braider, they go ahead and ghost you. So, if you want to watch how all this came together, make sure you stay tuned. Hey Ladybug, it's your girl Lady Adri back with another video. Today we are giving a DIY knotless braid tutorial. This is, I believe, my best yet. But first we are going to start with some tools you'll need to complete this style. First things first is it's called a thread holder, but somewhere to put the hair, a couple of clips, a comb. If you have a braiding comb, it's definitely better. I use Shine and Jam, but use whatever you like. Some oil, wild growth I use, and some mousse. And then you will need these clips as well. And then, of course, the hair. And do not forget to grab some water or a snack. You will see me talking a lot in this video, and that's because I was trying to record a vlog at the same time. So if you want to get the story about why I'm braiding my own hair, definitely check out the vlog I'm doing for this. But starting out with one of the first bundles, so I do brush through with my detangling brush, and I do stretch the hair further than what it's already pre-stretched, only because I love my braids to be tapered. Like, love when they almost end up to nothing or like a strand. So I stretch my hair longer than it already comes, and it also helps me achieve a longer braid, which I love. Basically my braids to my ankles. After everything is detangled, we are going to start to separate. I try to do my pieces as close as possible to the same size. So because I'm kind of doing like a medium braid, the pieces aren't going to be that big. So once I break all of those apart, I put them on, again, it's called the thread holder, but I use this thread holder to hold my hair, and I'll kind of go up closer when I'm putting it on the holder, only because the way I put it on, I try to maximize, oh my goodness, how much hair is on the thread holder, and you can honestly put way more hair on the thread holder than I'm doing. I just didn't want my hair to get too tangled on the thread holder, but I will show you a close-up shot in a second. Okay, so I'm going to try to explain this as best as possible. So I put 2 layers of hair on each row. So I'm going to explain it first. The next row that I'm about to put hair on, you'll see I'm putting hair on each peg. But then when I make the second layer on the row, I'll put hair on 2 pegs so that it's not falling on the same peg. So just watch and then you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, so you can see I'm about to finish up the row. Now, this next piece of hair is going to go stretched between 2 pegs instead of 1. You see that? I take it off and I put it on the 2 pegs so that I'm maximizing the hair. So if you wanted to put more hair on after you finish the row with the hair across 2 pegs, you can do 1 peg again and then 2 pegs again, basically until it's full. I wouldn't go past doing it twice though. Okay, now we're starting to part. So I start by parting at the tip and top of my ear, all the way across, just so that I know when I get to that front or that top piece, that's when like I can kind of see, and my parts I'm kind of really focusing on being super duper straight. And like y'all will see in this video, when you're in the back, it's hard to see, like it's just too much. It's kind of sometimes whatever, but once you hit the middle to front of that head, child, them parts will be crisp. And I did forget some tools in this, so you're just going to grab either one of those clips or a scrunchie and tie that part off, the section off, so that we can focus on the back. And here's where we're finally going to get started. So I honestly just put some of that Shine and Jam on the back to lay that part down. And then this is when we're going to start our first row. And for whatever reason, my camera wanted to die when we started on that first row. So with explaining, I'll start on the second row. And at the end of the video, I do a slow motion and a close-up on like how I'm adding the hair and what I'm doing to each piece, but I will explain here as well. So we just want to start off by putting the Shine and Jam at the base of the braid, and that's kind of just to make the braid look a little more crisp. You can, again, if you have like another mirror behind you and you want to clean up that part, this is when you can do that as well with the Shine and Jam. So you'll want to start off by separating that piece into 3 parts and start braiding as usual. So I braid about twice before I start to add the hair. So you see the 1 and the 2, I'm grabbing a piece of hair and I'm adding it underhanded. I really can't explain that, but if you see it, you can see I'm adding it in between my index finger and my pointer finger. You'll see it one more time, or my index finger and my thumb, sorry. So I'm grabbing that hair and we are placing it in between the thumb and index finger in that piece. One piece will go at the top, whatever's on top of your index finger, and we'll see it one more time. And then that bottom piece will fall with whatever's in between your fingers. I hope that makes sense, but we'll do it again and we'll do it close up at the end. Nope, we are going to do it one more time. So you'll see I'm grabbing the hair, and whatever's on top my index finger, the hair is going to that piece of hair, and then whatever's in between my finger. And again, I was doing medium braids, which I know looks crazy right now, but I added about 3 to 4 pieces per braid, and then stopped adding basically when it felt like, okay, this is medium, so I'm going to stop adding the hair. So if you're doing small, you'll probably only want to add about 2 pieces, maybe 3 pieces, depending on how big or small you break up your hair. Okay, and if you do not have two mirrors, this is how you can kind of check if your parts are straight, is to record it and then like look at the video and see what changes need to be made. I barely did that. I did it at some points, but I really did not care that much what my hair looked like in the back because I knew I was probably gonna either wear my hair down or in a bun and you would not see how perfect my parts were or not. Okay, so this is finally the home stretch. This was the next morning, early morning. I'm now using natural light, honey. So, like I said, when I got to the front is when I really cared about the parts. So I literally went over parts like 10 times because I really wanted them to be nice and crisp now that I can finally see what I was doing. Y'all, the way that my face lit up on this last braid, because I was able to see the light at the end of the tunnel. I was so ready to be done. I needed a nap. I was so exhausted. But I tried not to add a lot of my edges into the braids because I didn't want them to pull. But I'm about to give y'all a zoom up right here just to give you again an in-depth sort of what I do to add this hair in and everything, and I will slow it down as well. Okay, so I am breaking that piece into 3 parts to start braiding regular. I braid once and twice, and then I grab that hair to add it underhanded. So the way I grab the hair, you'll see there's a gap in that hair, and that's what I'm placing in between my index and thumb. So you see the gap. I'm placing it under, in between that index finger and the thumb. I'm braiding once and twice. And then I am adding another piece of hair. It'll go in between my index finger and thumb. And then one strand of hair will go to the piece that is on top of my index finger, and the other piece of hair will go to whatever hair is in between my thumb and index finger. And I will get to show y'all one more time. So I braid once and twice, grab a piece of hair, add it in between the index finger and the thumb. One strand of hair will go to whatever hair is on top of that index finger, and the other strand of hair will go in between whatever hair is in between the index finger and thumb. And I braid, braid, braid down. Okay, now after I've braided down a couple of times, I do switch my hand position so that it's a little more comfortable for me to braid. So I basically keep the braid in the same position. I'm just changing my hands kind of around. And it's kind of like I flip the braid to braid inside out. You'll really just have to watch on that one. Um, but I'm just braiding, I guess, overhanded. Y'all see that? I think this part may be like what's comfortable for you. I'm also about to add another piece in this position. So this you can kind of use if you wanted to make your braids longer. This is kind of how you would add hair to make the braid longer. So same thing, adding the extra hair in between your index finger and your thumb. And you can see kind of where those two pieces of hair went to braid it in. I also didn't mention, like, when I'm braiding, I'm doing it right now, grabbing some Shine and Jam to kind of lay my natural hair down and blend it in with the extension a little more. But I'm just braiding down into the end. And y'all, when I say I was so happy to be done, too happy. And then we just want to seal our braids. So you'll just put a pot of hot water on the stove. Y'all can pour this into a container or a cup or something. I was using my pitcher, so I couldn't do that. This is where I also oiled my scalp right after dipping. And after I oil my scalp, I lay those edges a little bit. And then after laying the edges, I will add my mousse. Now, I will say I love Suave's. I think it's Extra Hold or Extreme Hold. It's a purple can. For some reason, I can't find that one, but that's my favorite. This one is okay, but the Suave one is my favorite mousse in the world. This is the hair I cut off, but y'all look at the length of those braids. I absolutely love. Okay, so this part is totally, I keep dropping it. This part is optional, but I need to make sure that doesn't stain my table actually. So this part is optional because I live with a guy. This stuff is accessible to me, and I actually don't, well, I don't even know how I found it this fast, but after you put the foam on, after laying your edges and whatnot, and your hair is still kind of wet, I'm gonna take this off because I'm off the phone now. He don't watch my videos, no way, especially this one, so I'm gonna just steal one of his do-rags. steal one of his do-rags really quick and wrap my hair down so that it could come out flat. When you're putting the do-rag on, make sure you're like pulling the braids down so they're not like buckled under the do-rag, and make sure the do-rag is also on there with no lumps, bumps. We don't want any of that because we want our braids to lay extra flat. Y'all, the relief I felt after taking this do-rag off. Oh, so crispy. So in love with the size, the length, everything. I was mad when I took the do-rag off. I kind of messed up my edges a little bit, but that's okay. Because we are going to re-slick those. But y'all, this, I think I'm going to mention the time at the end of this video. But these braids came out so nice. This is the first time I've tried knotless on myself without doing the rubber band method, and I was very shocked at how good these came out. So I'm just so excited to have my hair done for a little bit. But look at how fresh and clean these look. If you guys try any of my methods, let me know how it turned out. If you're able to leave a picture below, definitely do so. Okay, so these are my knotless braids. I started at 11 p.m. last night and finished around, I want to say 3, and that's with dipping and doing the edges and all that good stuff, and putting the mousse and everything on.